Lisa Crawley, a track they call Back to You.
You're listening to the Radio Wammo Breakfast, only on Kiwi.
Well, they've had a failed career in politics, so they've decided to return to the telly on Friday evenings. A new series of Pulp Sport has just begun on TV3. Of course, it's Bill and Ben, and they're joining me in the Kiwi studio this morning. Good morning to you guys.
Thanks, Wammo. Great to be here.
Thanks for bringing up the failed career.
Yeah, that was really nice.
It was nice to stick that knife in straight away.
Right off the bat. Yeah.
It was kind of unfortunate, you know. You stood in the general election.
That's right.
A little bit of support there. Probably grassroots support.
We got about 13,000 votes by the time the specials came in. The special votes, not the special voters.
Right.
Although
they can't vote, can they?
No. Well, arguably they were probably the same.
Everyone's a special voter.
They are all special voters. Yeah. And then obviously when we ran in the Ben ran in the Mount Albert by-election.
Yeah.
Sort of fared pretty much on the same kind of percentages. Really. Yeah. It was about 0.56, I think.
Where'd you come fourth? Was it fourth or third? Fourth?
I can't even remember.
Fifth, I think.
Didn't even win the joke vote though. Melissa Lee won the joke vote, so that was a bit of a shame.
That was a bit disappointing. We thought I thought we were a shoo-in for that one.
Yeah.
But she was a bit of a bolter in the end on the joke vote, so took that one out.
I can't remember what platform the party was standing on.
It was a wooden one. For the most part.
Yeah.
And I think it had some sides.
Did you build it yourself?
We did.
Yeah.
Mainly out of beer crates.
Yeah.
But
no policies, no promises, no disappointments was the
as far as that goes.
Yeah. So we had no policies.
So if you did get in, you couldn't sort of disappoint.
That's right.
No, exactly.
That was the idea.
Pretty much just going to make it up. Yeah. I think it's pretty much what most people do. Is they make up, except they make it. They have the pretense of a whole bunch of promises prior to.
Yeah.
And then they go in and then they make it all up anyway. So it's like we were just sort of cutting out one of those steps and just say, well, we've got nothing here. We'll just figure it out when we get there.
So have you kicked the political career into touch?
Nice use of the sporting pun there. That's good. We kind of have for the time being. We've been wanting to move into our burgeoning music career, sort of a little bit like Joaquin Phoenix. Leaving behind the funny guy sporting thing and also the politics, moving into music, and we've dropped our new track, which was I'm on a Goat.
Yeah, what is I'm on a Goat?
Yeah. There was another track actually which sounded quite similar, which surprisingly, I don't know how, but came out before ours.
The I'm on a Boat one.
Yeah. I haven't heard of that one.
No, but you probably wouldn't have. But I mean, due to sort of sponsorship commitments and lack of a record deal, ours sort of was a little bit late on coming out. But we have dropped that track now. We did it on Friday night on the show
with P Diggs from Shapeshifter.
That's right. He was in there.
So is that Bill and Ben featuring P Diggs?
Yeah. We like to say Bill and Ben feat P Diggs.
Okay.
It's not that it's
feet.
Just his feet. It's feet P Diggs.
Okay.
Because that's kind of what you do. That's the hip, cool way to go about it. Wammo. That's what we're finding.
And was it a struggle to encourage him into the project at all?
Well, I think P Diggs feet. I'm sorry, P Diggs, like all of them.
Feet P Diggs.
Yeah, he's been a bit of a closet fan of Pulp Sport for a while. Surprisingly, although it was a struggle to work around his schedule. He was quite busy. Shapeshifter were on tour, and we were just trying to work the ins and outs.
We got him a grill for his teeth, and I think that was the clincher. Yeah.
It's interesting you say closet fan. Do you find people with any kind of credibility don't admit straight up that they're fans?
It is interesting. You sort of you write these scripts for people and you hope that they'll come on the show, but you think, oh, this person won't do it. And surprisingly, every now and again, people like Mike Hosking and Dean Barker and people that you think they don't like our show. They don't even know who we are. Oh, well, suddenly go, we love the show. We want to be on it. And then
been a big fan. Been watching you since you were on Sky or something like that. And you go, what? And so you'll sign these randoms up.
Do you get a mailbag at all? Do people write in? Feedback?
Lots of emails and stuff come through, and then when you put stuff on YouTube, lots of people write lovely comments and not so lovely comments.
Yeah.
Do many people write and say, "Give more sport, please"?
We haven't had much of the more sport. There's certainly been less and less sport occurring in the show over the years. Yeah, I mean, we actually, somebody passed a comment the other day, like, guys, watch the first episode. Not so much sport in Pulp Sport. I was like, yeah, you're right. Don't know what happened there. Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, we lost the sport and increased the pulp.
I mean, is that always your plan to weed out sport and turn it into more of a current affairs show over time?
Well, the plan, I mean, basically when we started out, it was a sports show that we kind of thought was entertaining. So it was a sports show that we wanted to watch. And over time we kind of discovered that a sports show that we wanted to watch was actually relatively amusing. And the amusing part was probably what we were best at rather than the sport part. So maybe we should focus a little more on that. And over time we've kind of focused more and more on that bit. I guess we'll call it the pulp bit.
Yeah.
And that's sort of just taken over. Some might say we've lost our way.
Yeah. So this is series 10 that you've
Series 7.
Series
7.
Okay.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Getting pretty close. Are you worried that any of the characters are starting to lose their shine? Are you planning on retiring any?
Well, a little bit. At the end of every series, we sort of drop a couple of characters, a couple of segments, and introduce a couple of new ones, just for our own amusement as well as trying to freshen things up.
We kind of make them trial again for the new season. Yeah. And if they don't make the grade, then they're replaced by some of the young guys that are up and coming.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you find any of the like the Sacha Baron Cohen complex where people start to know who he is, and therefore it gets a little bit harder to do certain stunts, like sneak the booze into the sports grounds?
Most certainly, and that's why, I mean, there's only one. There's a TUI sneak that we've tried this year, which we did it ourselves, and immediately security were on us. They knew from the moment we came in the door that it was like, okay, fellas, like, we know who you are. We don't want any funny business, all right? And we kind of knew that was going to be the case from the outset. But so that's why most of the time, like the sort of the sniggering little girly men that we are, we go and hide away in the van and get our friends to do it for us. And we've got a lot of our new characters that we've got in this series are other people, that aren't us. If it's ones that require a sort of a natural reaction from the public, we would get other people to do them.
So eventually you could see yourself stepping right outside the show, just weeding yourself out.
That would be nice. We could sit there with a coffee and a puffer jacket and a clipboard and
one of those director chairs.
Yeah, that would be nice. That's really we'd like to. Yeah.
That's where we're headed. Yeah,
it's nice.
Just phasing ourselves out.
Well, that's the ultimate plan. I mean, who wants to do those crazy things? With the coin toss and
we've done all those. We've done plenty of those.
Exactly.
We've done our time.
For goodness sake, Wammo, I'm
30. Have you done the stats on that? Does one of you lose more often than the other?
Well, yeah. A couple of years ago, we had 11 each. We'd lost.
Yeah.
And it was all nice and even. And then last year, I lost 7 out of 8, and that just threw things out. And then he always says, like, well, he asked the question.
Yeah, all right, carry on.
Yeah. So, and this time you lost a few more than me, but it's still leaning towards me being more of a loser than Bill.
Yeah. I think that's what we're finding.
When you guys are doing that, are you living out some kind of sadistic fantasy?
It's a weird one. Like, I mean, we changed up how we actually do that segment. Where in previous years it used to just be like one of us had to, we flipped the coin and one of us had to do something stink while the other one got to eat pizza. This year we actually sort of included a challenge part to it all. So you actually have to, when you lose, you actually have to complete a challenge. Otherwise, there's further sort of hellish things that you have to do. But if you manage to complete that challenge, then the guy who won the coin toss, he has to do it.
Right.
So it really did sort of add a touch of jeopardy to it all. So where in past years you'd lose, and the other guy would be like, "Oh mate, I feel for you. This is stink. I'm enjoying my pizza, but I feel a bit stink for you. You're having to go through this." Whereas now it's like, "Oh, you get oh hell no," and you're really trying to stop the guy from succeeding in his challenge and things. And there's far more of a battle between us going on, and there's very little love lost in the process. So it's not like you're living out a sadistic fantasy, but there's the competitive spirit really does kick in this one.
Yeah. Have you ever walked away with any lasting injuries? You're still holding an injury right now from the last.
You've got a few welts and stuff that have bruised up quite nicely.
Yeah, I've got still got a welt on my leg, which has been there for 2 months. Now, over 2 months.
And have we seen how that one has been caused?
No, we haven't seen that yet. That's still to come.
We're pretty lucky. I mean, for doing some stupid things, there's only been sort of scrapes and slight bruises that sort of have been lasting.
Yeah.
You know, we've done all sorts of things with cattle prods and electric dog collars and tennis balls and squash balls and paintball guns.
I mean, we'll be the first to admit we're not jackass. You know, we're not gonna go like quite as far as those guys go, but we sort of push it within the bounds of like not breaking bones.
Those crazy odd girls on C4, rad girls or something. You've seen it? That's weird, man.
Yeah, that is odd. I was thinking they were making a taco or a burrito with pubes in it or something the other night, and I was like,
oh really?
I don't even understand the point of this. You know, and I watch our show and like I kind of see where we're coming from with it, but you know, like that one was just like, oh, this is just weird. Anyway,
so new series is on now. What time on Friday nights?
Pretty much 9:30 Friday nights after Rove and before the new show 7 Days. So it's quite a good night of TV for TV3.
You're the ham and the sandwich.
That's right.
We are, yeah.
The lull in between two sort of high points, I guess.
Yeah. It's that point where you can go and make yourself a cup of tea and maybe have your dinner or something.
The
like
intermission.
That. Yeah, intermission before you come back and watch 7 Days.
Yeah.
Bill and Ben, the Pulp Sport men, thanks so much for coming on in and chatting to us about the new series.